Okay, so two big bits of information today. The first is in regard to the POCO F2, or what seems to be POCO's and Xiaomi's plans for the company and the brand. And also Snapdragon 875 information was leaked today. And this is the next version of the flagship chipset that's going to be used in the Android world. So when it comes to POCO, the big question is, if there's a POCO F2 Pro, then what phone is the POCO F2? Well, there was another phone listed on a Xiaomi website today that may give us some clues as to what POCO are going to be doing. So this is the POCO M2. Oh dear, things are starting to get very confusing indeed. So we have the POCO F2 that's going to be launching worldwide, but the Redmi K30 Pro that is the POCO F2 is launching in India at least as the K30 Pro. But here's another phone in the mix, the M2 Pro. The phone was initially listed on a Xiaomi website, leaked online, and then very swiftly taken away. The internal code for this phone starts with M2003J, and there are a bunch of Xiaomi phones that also start with that same code. Thanks to Ishan on Twitter who had a look, he actually found that the Redmi Note 9, which is going to be launching in China very soon, it's already launched outside of China, starts with the same code at the start of the POCO M2, so M2003J. That means that any possible POCO M2 Pro or M2 could yet again be another rebranded Redmi phone, this time maybe the Redmi Note 9 or the Redmi Note 9 Pro. XDA developers looked into it and found that there was some code relating to a possible POCO M2 phone that was also very closely related to what we have already got in a Redmi Note 9 or Note 9 Pro. So what does this actually all mean? Well, if we can assume that the POCO M2 Pro that was listed on Xiaomi's website was done so as a mistake, maybe they leaked it without knowing, it's hard to think that it just randomly appeared there. It has to be some sort of phone that they're working on. Then we can assume that POCO actually isn't just a phone anymore. They have split from Xiaomi, and they won't just be releasing one or two phones, but they're going to start releasing literally a complete multitude of cheap Android phones, just like we see Xiaomi and Redmi doing as well. We see this same strategy with BBK, or Bubugao as they're known in China, which essentially made just loads of different brands. They have Oppo and Vivo and OnePlus and even Realme now. That is 4 big name smartphone companies that, to be fair, just release all the same phones with tiny differences here and there. It's the same stuff with slightly different brands. So this means we can get ready for a lot of POCO phones in the future. So the POCO F2 Pro, which we know is going to be coming very soon, and way more. We already have the POCO X2, and we're probably getting some M series phones as well. And these may be more of those affordable type budget Android phones. Now comes leaks of the Snapdragon 875. So we've got the Snapdragon 865 this year. Pretty new still, but we are already getting some leaks and info about the upcoming 875, which should release next year in all of the new Android flagships. According to the information posted today, the Snapdragon 875 will be a 5nm chipset as opposed to what we're currently using in the 865, which is a 7nm chipset. So we should be getting some higher power at the top end and also some better power efficiency overall. It will be using a Kryo 685 CPUs with ARM design for those CPUs. An Adreno 660 GPU and a Spectra 580 ISP. The ISP is the image signal processor. It's the thing that makes our images look so good. Apple will be releasing the A14 chipset, and Huawei will be releasing their newest Kirin flagship chipset, all on 5nm nodes, which are the same as the Snapdragon, and their phones are actually just cheaper than Snapdragon flagships these days. So more upgrades expected, yes, and according to Ice Universe anyway, an even higher price. We could start seeing $1,500 flagships being the absolute norm, and even flagship killers these days, $700 or $800 next year. It's hardly a flagship killer if it costs that much, but that looks to be the way it's going. Subscribe for the latest tech news and videos. That's it for now, but I'll see you in the next one.